Here we are in Neo-Babylonia. Yep, those Babylonians. They had two revolts during the time of the Assyrians, and that third revolt they got back their empire. They got back their empire plus all that the Assyrians had captured. So we see this expansive empire from the Mediterranean all the way down to the Persian Gulf. In terms of time, notice how we have covered thousands of years in just this week's lecture. We are now, 626? I want to pause here and emphasize what I said at the beginning of today's class lecture. We have been traveling through a lot of time, and there are things happening concurrently that we will be looking at later in the semester. It doesn't mean that it happens later in human history. It just means that we're going to be moving through specific areas, geographic locations, and then have to rewind and start up again. So where are we? Well, we just did Akkadian, Babylonian, Assyrian. Here we are in our Neo-Babylonian period. And tomorrow, next week, we're going to do Old Kingdom, Middle Kingdom, and New Kingdom of Egypt. By the time that the Babylonians take down the Assyrians for this Neo-Babylonian time frame, Egypt's grand kingdoms are gone. They're gone. We're going to be going up to the Greek islands, and we're going to look at the Mycenaeans and the Minoans. By the time of the Neo-Babylonians, they're ancient history. People have already forgotten how to read their writing system. This is a way to help you understand this timeline up here is a way to help you understand that while we are progressing through time throughout the semester, we're going to be needing to rewind and understand that these things are happening concurrently. People know about each other. They intermarry, they fight, they discuss, they trade. And I'm going to try to keep reminding you about this interconnection between people throughout the semester. The Neo-Babylonians rise to power as the Assyrians' control of the land starts to crumble, and then they officially beat the Assyrians in 600. They will fall in 529 to the rise of the power in the east, the Persian king Cyrus the Great. The patron god, or the ruling god of the Neo-Babylonian, was the god Marduk, also referred to as Bel, which means Lord. So he was the primary god of the Babylonians. He was originally a god of thunderstorms, and he was often represented as the red star of the planet Jupiter. And in terms of the biblical location of Babylon, this is the Babylon that is described in the Bible, in the Old Testament. It is this Babylonia in which the Jewish faith has its struggles and oppression under Marduk, or Bel, or Lord. It is the Tower of Babel, dedicated to Marduk, Tower of Baal, that is referred to in the Bible. Also, one of the 7 great wonders of the world from the ancient world is the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, I'm showing you an artist representation because we don't have the actual palace and garden structure itself, but based on the historical record of their understanding of irrigation and building technology and the record of how people describe this, we have some understanding that it would have been a stepped, platformed palace with these irrigation systems, these extremely elaborate systems in which would bring fresh water to feed these hanging gardens. I say hanging. What I mean is they were hanging over the sides of this tiered palace. And then the Temple of Marduk is referred to as the Tower of Babel in the Old Testament. This extremely tall ziggurat, a platform, with the temple on the top. So here is the foundations of many elements of the Jewish faith as explained in the Old Testament. It is here in the book of David that the Neo-Babylonian king, his name is King Nebuchadnezzar, held captive thousands of Jewish people from Jerusalem for over 50 years. Let me go back. You can see here that Neo-Babylonia stretched and took over this key location in the Mediterranean Sea. Now, the site was not known as extremely fertile, but a key area for trade routes. And so to control this was to control money. And to defeat the riotous Jewish faith, or the Jewish people in Judea, their own country of Judea, the Babylonians captured, destroyed their temples, and took many of the elders into the city of Babylon. Here's a map of the city. Now, the city is around a irrigation path of the river, and it has walls on several sides that also abut the river itself. The part that we're going to focus on is the sacred center that you and I would not have been allowed into. The sacred center had the temples to the main gods. Here is the gate, and we're going to look at this gate. This was a gate that opened to the city in the north, and it would have been a procession or a parade street where the ruler with the soldiers, with nobility, would parade out of the sacred center of the city and then proclaim the greatness and majesty of the Babylonians to the Babylonian people. Within the walled center was the palace and a temple dedicated to Ishtar. Ishtar is a variant of Inanna. Remember our beautiful Inanna? She is that evolution into Ishtar. The gate is referred to as the Ishtar gate. We'll look at that. And then further down the procession route, and something that we wouldn't have been able to visit, but we could see from far and away in the city, is that ziggurat and temple of Marduk, of Bel. Here's a beautiful artist rendering of the city of Babylon during the Neo-Babylonian period. So there's the temple to Marduk, the Tower of Babel, and here is the Ishtar Gate, which is going to be our next artwork. Help to center you. Now, as I said, this was a procession route, so we would not be allowed beyond the borders of that gate, but we could stand on either side and watch the procession of the royal family, of the nobility, of the priests and priestess, to our great and powerful gods, our soldiers, and we are so fortunate to have the gate, the Ishtar Gate of Babylon, and this is your next work of art. It is not located in Babylon anymore. It has been taken brick by brick and restored and set up in the State Museum in Berlin, Germany. Now you might be asking, Berlin, Germany, how did it get there? With the rise of the study of archaeology, in the early 20th century, we see various European nations take control over these larger areas like Egypt or the ancient Near East. And the German archaeologists took the area, had permission to excavate in this area, and as part of a deal for finding these treasures and revealing this history, they were given leniency in taking some stuff with them. Some stuff was taken by force, some stuff was given as a show of good faith, and the Ishtar Gate was set up in Berlin. What we have are clay bricks, those same bricks that we talked about with the ziggurats, and they have been molded and glazed separately. Glazed is putting of the coloring on those bricks, this beautiful bright cobalt blue and this golden yellow. This slide is to remind you that Inanna is the evolved into Ishtar. So the bricks are molded and glazed separately, and then they were assembled in their proper sequence on the wall. That is amazing to think, considering that this wall doesn't just feature blue bricks, but has these molded or three-dimensional figures of animals. The animals include dragons and bulls. They're supposed to be symbolic of the Babylonian gods themselves. Marduk is a dragon. Another of the Babylonian gods, his name is Adad. He is represented as a bull. So we see these reliefs of the animals that were, again, made separately, and yet the puzzle pieces all come together to form this fantastic creature. They march in the procession with the guards. Here in this artist representation, you can see how they flank either side, the dragons and the bulls. And then as we exit out the sides, lions. The lions march out of the city center following the procession. Wow. Right? It's just beautiful. So we have, the lions are sacred to Ishtar. So we have her sacred lions in this procession. We have the dragons. We have the bulls. I wish I had a detail of a dragon. I don't. But there's a dragon right there. Wow. Right? I mean, come on. It's just fantastic. Now, below this video, I'm going to include a clip from Khan Academy, Smart History Khan Academy. They do a good job of showing you some more details and talking about the significance of this gate.